We have seen amazing things that can happen when you redefine, recreate, or rethink. But how do you do this in your own lives? Now, the simplest answer would be, hey, let's set some goals. But let's be real. Goal setting is tedious. Today, I want to share some thoughts with you about not goal setting, but how to accomplish goals, but also have tremendous fun along the way. You see, in my experience, goal setting, goal accomplishment is not just about stating clear goals. It actually comprises of three different attributes. The first one is that the goal needs to be based on some foundation of logic, something you can relate to. The second thing is that a goal actually needs to have a sense of ownership, something that you can do with it. Last but not the least, there is a component of emotional well-being that needs to sort of surround and envelope the goal. Let me take you on a journey, and it was a journey, believe me, because it was a thing that happened to me a couple of years back. I was on a flight from London to San Francisco, and this is like an 8-hour flight. And at that time, well, I still am at Google, but at that time, I was having an incredible time. I was managing a large team across 13 different offices. My team was responsible for supporting all of Google's products. So this is like a product of 100 plus products. And every day I was learning. I felt I was delivering great business impact. But something was off. Something just did not feel right. Now, this is a nagging feeling that had bothered me for some time. And in front of me sat a 4x6 movie screen, and I really was looking forward to having a sip of wine, catching up on some movies, but I really could not shake off this nagging feeling. You see, what had happened was, with this position and responsibility, it was a little bit stressful. And my favorite way to bust out stress happened to be desserts. I love desserts. I still do. But the effect of a lot of desserts isn't very good on your weight. So it turns out I had put on more than a few pounds, and it wasn't the weight that was bothering me. What was bothering me was that I did not have a way to sustainably manage my stress and lead a healthy lifestyle. Now, I had been on my fair share of yo-yo diets, exercise plans, and a stack of DVDs that are sitting somewhere in the drawer. But this time around, I had some time at my hand, so I decided to dig a little bit deeper and think. And three words sort of like flashed in my mind. And this was from somebody that I deeply respect. The person is Rich Lyons. He's the dean of the Haas School of Business here at UC Berkeley, my alma mater. Now, Dean Lyons often says, challenge the status quo. And the reason the words really resonated with me was, on paper, things were really good. I had a great job. I had a great career. It wasn't like my doctors were telling me that you got to do something different. But I knew I had to drive change. And this is what I call as proactive change. There wasn't no real reason, but I had to do it for myself. So here is what I did. I thought that I needed to do some goals and so on and so forth. But I did some things very different this time around. The first thing was, usually I would set a goal as, I would like to lose X amount of weight in a certain amount of time frame. The problem with that goal is, I really cannot control weight loss directly. There are lots of other factors. I shifted the goal to, I would like to maintain a healthy lifestyle and manage my stress through regular exercise, something I could control. The second thing I did was, that's good, but how much? Make it somewhat quantifiable. So I talked to a few of the fitness folks around, and they said, you know what? If you want to maintain a healthy lifestyle, if that's your goal, you should exercise for 30 minutes a day. That translates to about, well, exactly 3.5 hours. I said, I'm going to do just a bit better. I'm going to do 4 hours. Now, I actually thought about these 4 hours. How am I going to do this? And the logic behind this was, I could do kind of 2 hours over the weekend, and I could spread out 2 hours across the 5 days in the week. And between the weekend and the weekdays, I felt relatively comfortable. Now, once I set this goal, I did another thing that was slightly different. Instead of just keeping this goal to myself, I chose to advertise it. And here is how I did that. I put the fitness classes that I was taking in the calendar. And with that, a couple of interesting things happened. Now, calendars in Google are open. Everybody can see each other and then kind of book time and so on and so forth. But people started asking me how the classes were. I started to feel supported. I started to feel an envelope of support around me. But another thing happened. I actually felt more accountable to this. 6 months passes, around 6 months. It turns out I actually lost over 30 pounds. And in this journey, I felt that emotional support. I actually was having a good time because I was accomplishing things every week. So at the end of the day, I drove not only better results, but also had a lot of fun along the way. Now, turns out the principles that I just talked about to drive personal goal accomplishment and proactive change in your lives can also be applied for organizational changes and organizational goal setting. However, when dealing with organizations, there is a small difference that may surprise you guys. Now, Google company has grown tremendously. With a bigger company, there are more number of people, more number of teams, more number of products. My team that helps support salespeople answer product questions, technical questions, it would take us almost 5 days to get back to these requests. Now, as a company, we were making good money, but we knew we had to drive proactive change for the sake of our customers. Now, here's the little surprise that I alluded to earlier. When setting goals for teams, the goals have to be big, bold, and audacious. And there's a very simple reason behind it. When we are talking about individuals, it's all about yourself. You need a little bit of flexibility. You need a little bit of leeway. However, when talking about teams, if you set incremental goals, people just work just a little bit harder. So you really don't end up driving any real change. Now, the goal that we set for the organization was, we're going to try to answer 90% of the questions within 1 hour. Now, that is bold and audacious compared to the 5 days it was taking us. Now, We regrouped. We communicated this to our teams. There were lots of questions. But from this pressured environment came a brilliant insight from one of my team members. And he said, Dutta, we are using Google Plus Hangouts to connect with people. Why are we not using this technology to answer questions from our own teams? We can get rid of a lot of back and forth via email and instead connect with people. It was a brilliant idea, and we ran with it. In a few months, we were at 50% of the questions being answered within an hour. However, no matter what we did, we could not budge that number. Believe me, we tried a lot of things. It did not work. I think the people in this audience have probably figured out why. Unfortunately, it took me a little more than this time frame. The reason was because I really had not put the component of emotional well-being in this mix. We decided to take a step back, talk to our team members, and understand why they were in this role, what excited them. And very quickly, it became clear there were a certain set of values that the team adhered to. It was around having a deep sense of customer empathy to help customers. It was because they wanted to learn about the products and help each other and collaborate within the teams. The moment we got those cleared, we started reinforcing. Our rewards, recognition were sort of centered around those. And we finally broke past that glass ceiling that we had been struggling with. As of right now, we're approaching at 80% of the questions being answered in real time. And we feel that following this, we can actually make that bold and audacious goal come true. Now, again, in this process, we had initially a lot of hiccups, but once that emotional component was taken care of, people genuinely enjoyed what they were doing. And obviously, we had better results. Now, I started this talk with some technical glitches, but more importantly, by saying that it was time to rethink, redesign, recreate our own lives. Now, goal setting is something all of us can do. So I would challenge all of you in this audience today to take a step back, understand one of the things that would drive proactive change for you. And in this process, not only try to accomplish better results, but also have tremendous amounts of fun along the way. Thank you.